back to my channel. This video is another episode from the Let's Talk series, and as you can see by the title, today I want to talk about fear and how to overcome our fears. Because even though fear might feel very real and present in the moment that you're having that experience, but fear is actually an illusion. Fear doesn't really exist, and I believe it's just a projection of our own subconscious thoughts that we are manifesting in our reality. And I believe fear is like a way through which our true self, our higher self, uses to let us know that we are out of alignment with Source. We are out of alignment with who we truly are, and it's like an alarm that goes off, like, hey, you should rethink the way you are dealing with a certain situation, and you should check your vibrational level, because this is just not the way to go about it. We get so immersed within our reality that we have become so disconnected with Source and so disconnected with our intuition and with this energy that is all around us and within us. And I think we have forgotten a little bit how to read that type of energy, and when something happens and we are not sure how to go about it, or we have a certain perception that we have inherited about that certain thing, we feel so immersed with this human that we identify with that we completely forgot this is just an experience. So yeah, before I go into the actual steps that I want to talk about on how to overcome your fear, I want just to set the ground and say that fear, it's an illusion, but it's an illusion that is giving you a heads up that you are not reacting based on your highest potential in that situation. And so I've been doing a lot of inner work lately, and I have spent a lot of time in meditation, in stillness, getting to know who I truly am, and questioning myself and the world around me and what I truly believe in. And I have come to realize certain things about our environment, about our society, that I was aware of before, but I think I didn't truly understand to what a high point does it all affect and influence our experience of reality. Because everything that exists in our world, in our external reality, has such a high impact on ourselves that we don't even realize it, because it is just so much to take in. And so what I want you to think about is, when you go on about your day and you wake up and you go to work and you spend a certain amount of hours in an environment with certain people, and they want you to think about the energy that environment is feeding you. And then you get off work, you maybe do your groceries, or you get home, you eat, you go on about the rest of your day, and you watch TV maybe, or you watch a show or a movie, and you come to another type of energy at home. And we do all have good days and bad days, because they all make they are all part of a bigger picture and a greater purpose. But we have to be really cautious with what types of energies we engage in, and what is that energy fueling within us. Because a day and another day and yet another day, and this going on, this is what creates your life. And so in order for us to consciously take control of our lives, we have to pay attention to all these little details, because these little details in our environment is what shapes our beliefs in our subconscious programs that we refer to when taking action, when having certain thoughts, when acting in a certain way. So what I came to realize is that our fears actually have three main possible root causes. And so I want you to think about something that you're afraid of, and it doesn't have to be something specific, like that obvious, like you're afraid maybe of spiders, or you're afraid of this, or you're afraid of that. But it's the little things that make you shift the way you act. Like, I'm not gonna go and do this because I'm afraid of the response I'm gonna get, or I am not going to do that because I'm afraid of failing, and things like that. Because the truth is, we are not afraid of the thing itself, but we are afraid of what we think the consequences are of a certain action. And so, for example, if you're somebody who is afraid of failure, you're naturally afraid of failing in the act itself, but you're afraid of not stepping up to society's standards, to not getting to the level of the expectations that everybody else around of you has, and you're afraid of actually disappointing the people you love. So it is not failing, but it is the disappointment from yourself or from others that we try to avoid, for example. Because if you think about it, I would say that the majority of the things that we are afraid of, we have been conditioned to be afraid of those things. We have been conditioned to think of those things as negative and harmful. If, let's say, for example, you're somebody like really into spirituality and you want to deepen your connection and maybe start getting into deeper states of meditation, or you maybe want to start learning astral projection and stuff like that, and you might encounter experiences that set you back because you have been conditioned to think of those as harmful. Because you don't really have to actively engage with society to still get that conditioning. For example, think about all the movies and everything the media feeds us regarding the paranormal stuff. Or if you're somebody who is really into horror movies and you like to watch those things, even though you are aware and conscious that it's just a movie and that it doesn't depict the reality, the actual reality, your subconscious is still being manipulated, and your perspective of life itself is being altered because of that. Because that fear gets inside of you and you're gonna keep projecting that into your outside world. Which takes me to the second possible main root cause of fear, which is projection, either of our own past experiences or of thoughts and experiences of others, especially if those other people that we're talking about are your loved ones. And I think this is also very deeply tied to attachment. We get so attached of our experiences, especially if that experience has hurt us in a certain way, emotionally or mentally, or has challenged us, and we get so attached to that experience and to not wanting for that to happen again, that what we end up doing is we just focus on that experience and thus keep manifesting it into our present reality. This can also happen by us projecting other people's thoughts and experiences into our reality, especially if we're talking about close relatives and people very close to our hearts, which opinions matter to us. And if they say they had an experience and then they might give us advice on that experience, we end up feeling like that is what is gonna happen to us, and it's us that we are attached to a certain outcome. So for example, when we had a negative past experience, every single time our outer world is gonna have, if not the same, very similar, quite similar characteristics to that instant, our inner world and our bodily reactions are gonna be the exact same ones that we had when the initial experience happened. And thus we're gonna be living and projecting the past into the present moment, and we are not truly letting the experience unfold by itself, but we are connected to what we think it might happen, and that is what gets us fear. So for example, if let's say you are afraid of elevators because you got stuck into an elevator once, you're projecting that past experience and you're not allowing yourself to fully live your present reality because you keep worrying about what if that happens again, and you experience the same anxiety over and over again when it's truly not necessary. Or if a loved one gives you advice based on their experience, even though your experience is very different to theirs, you're gonna keep thinking, well, what if this is true? And you're allowing your thoughts to lead you into a negative mental space that is then gonna be projected into the way that you consciously perceived your reality. And the third possible root cause for your fear might be actually the lack of knowledge that you have on the topic or on the thing that you are afraid of. Because what happens is when we find ourselves in a new situation that is unknown to us, the way we experience the world is by taking information that is available to us at this moment, and our brain and our body starts analyzing that information, and again, based on our already known and familiar experiences, is gonna give it a meaning. And so what I personally found is that the more we educate ourselves and the more we seek information on certain things, especially if we are resistant to them, that fear and resistance is gonna gradually get lower and lower because we have a deeper and broader understanding of that specific thing. And I'm gonna be referring again to the example I gave you with the spiritual world and astral projection experience, because we have a tendency to be afraid of these experiences because we don't understand them. And the more you dig into it and the more you actually understand what happens, why happens, and why is it important for that experience to unfold, because you have that understanding, is gonna be easier for you to go through it and you're no longer gonna be afraid. And this can apply to anything really, and I'm sure you can find examples from your own experience when you were afraid something was gonna happen because you were thinking in a certain way about the experience, and it ended up unfolding in a very different way. And you later thought that, oh, I was afraid and I was so analytical and beating myself up about it when it had actually nothing to do with the actual truth. So I really want to stress this regarding fear in general, that it's a projection of the way our human perceives and understands its world based on its level of consciousness. If you transcend that limitation and you're able to see the bigger picture of the situation that you're in and you find the truth, you are no longer afraid and you have a deeper understanding of the experience. And when you find yourself in fear, it's really important that you acknowledge the experience. Don't feel bad about it, because fear is a very natural feeling that we should not suppress. Be grateful for the fact that you are able to feel fear, because this is what is letting you know that you are on a low vibration. And you can use that fear and turn it into curiosity and step above it and try to use your fear as a catalyst for growth in a certain way. Now that we have identified a little bit where does fear actually come from, what I want to talk to you about is that every step of the way is still part of the process. And it's just as important, if not even more, than the actual goal that you have set. Fear is still part of the way, and only by experiencing and overcoming that fear is gonna allow you to grow. So use your fear as curiosity that is gonna allow you to further deepen your understanding of life. And don't get lost in the duality of our existence and try to pick a side of what is better and what is worse, but actually be grateful for the way that your experience is unfolding, because it's this specific experience that allows you to grow. And personally, the biggest thing that has shifted my perspective and my reaction in regards to fear is respond with love. Respond to fear with love. I have also previously said on the channel that you cannot overcome a specific issue from the same vibrational stage that it was created from. You have to raise one level above it, and that level above fear is love. If you are in a mental space that is based on fear, everything that's gonna happen from that point further is gonna stay in alignment with the vibration that you already have. What happens to me, at least, is that when I'm experiencing fear, everything else that happens is resonating with that fear that I have, and I am not really able to see the big picture until I shift my vibration and I start projecting this energy of love around me, until I start projecting the love that I have and understanding that I am also surrendered by love, that I am protected at all times, and that even though the experience might seem negative, it's actually gonna bring me something beneficial later on. So what I do in these moments is I close my eyes and I try to envision and project that love into my outer environment, and I truly feel that I am able to create that space of love, which it's not always easy to do, but it's gonna give you a ground and it's gonna shift a little bit the way you're looking at the experience. And so when you're experiencing fear, realize that you're having that experience because you're not in alignment with your true self and with this infinite source of light and energy of this, with this infinite source of love. And when you are in a place that you're detached and disconnected from this source, is when you are more perceptive and vulnerable to this subconscious manipulation from our society, that you're more vulnerable to negative feelings because you don't have that connection with the energy that supports you. We do all need a rock in life, and your connection to source and your connection to your intuition and to this infinite love can be your rock if you allow it to be. And all of your freedom and fulfillment is waiting for you already, just on the other side of fear, waiting to tell you how much you've grown to get there and how much she's proud of you for taking control over your life. I'm gonna stop here for now. I think this video is already long enough, but I just want to wrap this up with the message that it's not always an easy thing to do, and even the hard moments are part of the process. So try to trust yourself, try to deepen your connection with your true self, and you will find the love. And the love is so powerful that will literally dissipate anything else, but you have to make it consciously. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being with me till the end. If you enjoyed the video, you can help me by hitting like and subscribe to my channel. See you on the next time. Light and love.